You gotta find your bowl. Come on. Are there bowls down there? Eddie, where's your bowl? Where's your new bowl? Come on. Find him.
Look at
Oh, look at these bowls. Look at the bowls.
Look at the bowls, Eddie.
Edward, let's pick you out a bowl. How about that one right there? That's perfect. You want to eat out of that bowl?
He's too busy.
Yep, that's the bowl he eats out of now.
Yep, and he loves when I pour the Biljack in
That's
it.
his bowl, his little play-on bowl.
Good evening. It's Saturday night, and welcome to Conkys Flippin' Adventures.
Yeah.
Did you have any flippin' adventures this week?
A few, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What was the thumbnail was Eddie, and it said something about this is why dogs get in so much trouble. You want to tell them what Eddie was doing last night as we were starting our Whatnot show?
Well, we came down here to start our Whatnot show, and I hear kaboom kabam from upstairs, and like, oh, I gotta go upstairs and see what's going on. Sure enough, he started finding getting into trouble. Somebody sometimes doesn't pick up after himself and leaves some things behind.
She's blaming me.
And well, of course, we're down here, and he's like, "Screw it, I'm going to check it all out and see what I can get."
Yeah.
Because that's what a dog does. So you kind of had to start the show and just kind of, hang.
Yeah, I guess I did start the show without you last night.
Yeah, I had to yell at him and pick up the mess.
We had to bring him down here is what we had to do. He,
but
as you can see, he's down here with us now.
He's ornery. We've learned the hard way.
Oh, look at that. He's had a long day. Now he's going to just
Yeah, what the hell's is in the house?
Yeah, hey, Jeremy, Lenny's here, and Mary's here, and Kathy.
Janice is here.
Looking all
Mary's
up the list here trying to.
Okay, Kathy, thank you guys. We have 63, and Lenny, thank you for being with us. Is that Janice? Okay.
Oh boy, sleeping dog cam. How about a sleeping conky cam? I'm about ready to fall asleep up here.
We took a day off today, guys. We took a day off today and did absolutely nothing.
I'm trying to think. Did I do anything today?
All I know
I checked the mail.
Oh, okay. You checked the mail.
Pretty boring day around here.
I did feed the dog this morning.
Yeah. I thought I fed the dog this morning.
Did you? Maybe it was yesterday.
If we both fed him, then that means he conned one of us.
Did you? Oh, I fed him this afternoon.
Okay,
that's what I did. That's a big difference.
That's a communication we have to keep open at all times. Is who fed Eddie and when? Because if like I get up and I feed him and I don't tell her, he'll con her into thinking that he hasn't been fed yet, and he'll get another meal out of it. So,
but it's usually understood that the first one that rolls out of the bed in the morning usually takes care of feeding him, because he jumps off the bed and goes right and stands in front of the.
You okay over there?
Yeah, stands in front of the refrigerator, wait for his Biljack.
Why not move the camera?
I don't know.
Here, I'll get it.
Maybe I knocked it with my
probably
head.
Did. Thank you, Mary, for the.
Yeah, Mary, we're getting there. Hold on.
There we go. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. Your support is truly appreciated. It was just one of those days. Most part, we've been on the weather roller coaster ride up here where we're at.
Yeah, it's like in the 30s today.
It's in the upper 40s, early 50s.
Well, it was 50s. Down to it was set on my phone. The low was 34. So,
and it was like, I'm not kidding, guys. Thursday, it was like 81, 82 was the high. It got to the point, it got so warm in this house. I think it was like 79 degrees in this house. I had to turn the air conditioner off because it was just.
You had to turn it on.
Oh, turn it on because it was just. I had to cool it down. It was just overpowering.
Now, normally we would blame Jeremy for bringing the warm weather up here, but
I don't think he's up here yet. I know he's going to.
I thought he was coming up.
I know he's planning.
I don't know where he is.
Come home up.
But
here.
Jeremy, if you came up and it's as cold up here, then
it's your own fault.
Then we're gonna blame you.
We're gonna blame you.
Yeah.
So yeah, the roller coaster ride. It's just been, and our bodies are still in the winter mode, and they haven't.
Yeah, look at all this winter. You can't see all this winter fat
Well,
I
it's
got
more
on there. I got
just
to lose
that.
some weight.
You really do. Yeah, Kathy. I would rather have Thursday's weather back and stay that way. This going up and down, it does nothing for the sinuses. And I've been really tired all week, just really having the time of it. And today, I said, I'm taking a day off. I'm just going to sit down here and just relax and get my mojo back, I guess you would say.
Did you get it back?
I'll know tomorrow morning when I wake up. Oh, because, got things to do. As much as usually there's always something going on. Today, I just did absolutely nothing. I did nothing, just nothing. It felt nice just doing nothing, just hanging out and watching some TV, just doing nothing.
So they came and got the dumpster this week.
Oh yeah,
from the roof repair that sat out there for a while.
Yeah, it's really nice now to pull in the drive and you see your house looking.
Yeah, and there's no dumpster in the front yard.
There's no dumpster. There's no broken pieces hanging here and Tyvek wrap hanging here. It's just nice to see the house looking like a house.
But before they came to get the dumpster, the contractor came back out to get the leftover. There was like 6 bundles of shingles left over.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, because he saw the dumpster, he says, well, it's not full. You can throw anything you want in there. I'm thinking, oh, where were you when I was, bought my last storage unit and I had to go to the tow? So,
Mary Dale said she did nothing today either.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's the weather change. The weather is changing. Our bodies have to adjust to it.
I don't really.
Oh, I felt it all this
much.
week. I was just dragging all week. Just dragging. So I just said, you know what? I'm just, there's stuff I had to do this week. I had nothing really to do today. So I just I'm taking the day off. I'm taking the day off.
So I don't know how many people here saw our Whatnot show last night, but again, we had the technical difficulties.
Oh, the technical difficulties.
Where
don't go.
I don't know whether it's our Wi-Fi or what. I never really did like that. In order to be on Whatnot and do a show, you had to rely on some wireless connection. When even with like StreamYard, it even tells you, you want to use a wired connection when you're streaming video, because there's really no such thing as a reliable Wi-Fi or reliable wireless connection when it comes to these things. So we got to apologize for anybody who was on our show last night. And
yeah, it took a little bit to get through, and so we thank anybody who's in the chat that watched, and we got through it. So that was good. After the work I put into it, so I'm glad we got through it.
So we got through the whole 30 lots last night.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably going to be, because after we just talked about how crappy the weather is getting better. And I don't really consider good weather a good time to do that type of auctioning. Like even back when we did eBay auctions versus putting everything on there for buy it now, we always just took the summer off, because I don't know whether it's just me or I don't really want to be watching auctions when it's nice out. I find that in the summertime, just my own personal experience, in the summertime, it's always just too nice to be sitting on your computer buying stuff. You know what I mean? When it's cold outside, or you got the rainy or whatever, just I found that the auction sales just really drop off in the summer around this time of year. So I think we're going to take some time off of Whatnot. Probably come back in September, October, the fourth quarter. When the fall rolls around, the leaves start to change. We'll probably start doing more Whatnot, but I don't know if we're going to be doing any more over the summer.
No, you've been talking for a while now that you miss doing some flea markets.
I miss doing the flea markets.
You miss doing the flea markets.
You can argue all you want to that flea markets isn't as good as selling this or selling that, or you only get the people that walk by. I've been doing flea markets for a long time, off and on, and that's if I go and set up at a flea market, and I don't sell anything, yeah, it was a long day of work for nothing, which that's really never happened. But I actually enjoy doing flea markets.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that, just takes me back to when I was a kid. Don't tell me you're too old to do flea markets. I've seen people in their 90s do flea marketing. You're never too old to set up at a flea market and tear it down.
You thinking about that one couple that was next to us about 20 years ago,
yes.
15 to 20 years ago? They literally they had to be in their 80s, late 80s.
Yeah, they had an old converted Greyhound bus.
They had
that they take out. It was probably full of their stuff, and they were setting up a flea markets, and I thought they looked like they were in their 90s.
You were thinking of us doing that when we were getting older.
Well, I don't know if I can do it when I'm that old, but I'm not so old that I can't do it now.
You get the impression that this nice weather coming around, that couple just jumped on in and they just drove around all these flea markets, and that was how they. We might even, now that we have just one tree in the front yard, we
could do yard sales.
We could do a yard sale. There was a time you could not really do a yard sale because you really couldn't see anything. We had tons of trees. Cronky grew up here. There was nothing but trees.
Yeah, when I was a kid, up until a few years ago, really, there was no place on the street where you could stand and actually see the house. Right at the driveway, you could look up the driveway. The driveway was lined with trees on both sides. And you could maybe see like the door that we go in and out of. But now it's there's really only one tree, and it's a little dogwood, and it's not really even doing well.
No, so we've lost a lot of trees over the last 10 years because we've had a lot of windstorms come through here.
Yeah, and I mean just a lot of them were pine trees, and the pine trees just died. And when a pine tree dies, the top part stays green, the bottom part turns brown. It's not a good look.
And unfortunately, one fell in our neighbor's house. Luckily, we have insurance for that. It's just like every time we've had these windstorms come through, I mean, trees come down. We got to get rid of them.
Yeah.
This time we got hit big time because it hit the house.
So we are going to be taking down more trees in the backyard now.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to take any chances on anything else hitting the house.
No, that we were lucky. We could still stay in our house after that because sometimes it don't work out that way.
And then I'm going to probably plant some arborvitae of different. Maybe some green giants up front, and maybe some smaller ones in the back, just to give us some more privacy as we take down the trees that we have. Mayor Dan's, I'm in PA at a haunted house convention at the same place we went to the toy store.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. We know where he went.
The toy. I think it means the toy show.
Did you dress up?
Of course.
Did you dress up?
Oh, I'm sure. Are you kidding me?
If you did dress up, who did you dress up as?
You think Mayor Dan went at haunted house thing without a bloody bottle sticking out of his head or something?
Did we do the cranky leprechaun, or what did we do? Did the kids go with?
No, I bet you. I'm betting he took that Easter Bunny costume and turned it into something terrific.
Okay. He could have done that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I may dress up tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Well, if you're going to, that's the whole point of going to conventions is you can dress up. You can do cosplay.
What would be funny is if nobody else dressed up.
That was a scene of a Bridget Jones movie. They were going to a fancy dress party, which means it's a costume party. And her and her dad show up. They got costumes on. Everybody else is in casual wear. And they're all looking at them.
Nobody knows.
That was kind of funny.
Well,
and I told we were supposed
when you go to something like that, you always take a change of clothes.
There you go.
Christine says, "Are you done doing Saturday nights?"
Oh no,
we still do ours on Saturday nights. There's a difference between successfully selling something and just sitting here shooting the shit.
No. Flea markets. Okay, flea markets. Okay, you got to get to a flea market at the crack o' dawn. Literally.
Or before, actually. We're usually set up by the time
you usually want someplace where there's at least a little bit of light so you can set up because you're trying to hit two markets. Usually from the crack of dawn till about 7:30. Vendors. All the vendors are walking around looking at all the vendors' tables. Yeah. And you can make sales there. That's how you made the most famous sale down at Rogers. Is because we got there at the crack of dawn. Vendors are walking around.
That wasn't a vendor. You talking about the old man with the grandson?
Wasn't he a vendor?
Oh God, no.
Oh, he bought that. Okay.
No, I've told that story before. You guys probably don't want to hear it
yeah,
again.
You do make sales even as you're setting up, and I think they plan to distract you. You're just setting up so they can take a deal on you. But then about 8:00 is when the people, the customers, I call them, they're walking around, they're trying to hopefully buy something, and usually about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's usually about end time of flea markets, because by then everybody's been out in the hot sun. They're tired. They want to go home. It's Saturday night, or Friday night.
So when we do the flea markets this year, we're probably going to do. We'll probably just go to Hartville rather than going all the way down to
Hartville, because
And what we'll wind up doing is we're going to do them on the holiday weekends, and they allow you to take and park like a vehicle or a trailer or something the night before, like after 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll take the trailer, drop it off the night before. We've never had any problems leaving a trailer or a car there the night before, because the Hartville police actually do patrol the area.
That's a big that market is a big.
I mean, they got security and everything. They're not going to let anything happen to your stuff. A lot of people actually go and they set their stuff up. They got their stuff on the tables and everything, and just throw like tarps over.
Thanks for stopping in there, Dan. Have fun tomorrow.
And Jane Lord said she couldn't stay for very long, but
thanks, Jane Lord.
But so they've got security. Nobody's going to bother our stuff. Yeah. Plus,
we've done it before.
The reason I bought that particular trailer is because it came with
a lot,
like enough locks to lock the thing down for.
Fort Fox.
It's got a
Fort Knox.
It's got one of those boot locks for the wheel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's got the lock that goes on the tongue, and it's got locks that go on the door. So
we're going old school. Because we are old school. Okay,
so we'll take the trailer the night before, drop it off. We'll go there the next day, do our thing. Of course, I'll be one of the vendors running around trying to catch.
He always leaves. Okay. I kind of bring stuff, and of course, he brings his stuff. All right.
That's why we have walkie-talkies.
And then he takes off. Okay. And
sure
enough, somebody comes along, and he picked up the toy, and I'll look at me and go, "You'll take $35 for this?" I said, "Well, hold on." And I feel stupid. But we'll have to work that out.
I'll try to do my best to price things or something. I don't know.
And give me a rule like, okay, if it's $35, you can go.
Well, I mean, my worst nightmare is having something that's worth $500 and, not conveying that and saying something like, I'm going to need $5 for that. And then having it sell for $5. Yeah. I wake up in the middle of the night.
Thanks, Christine.
In a cold sweat about stuff like that. But no, I think we should be able to, communicate and I'm not going to be gone all day either. I'm probably going to be gone about the same time the other vendors are coming around to buy stuff. And I'm not going to want to.
Yeah. Flea markets are a morning to early afternoon activity. And then you come home and you crash.
Yeah.
And then we'll definitely be down here at 8 o'clock for our.
We'll probably be home by 3 or 4 o'clock that day. We'll probably go right to sleep and wake up in time to do the show. So I'll have to set the show up like on the Friday nights before or something.
And then once, that season starts to roll up, then we'll go right back on to whatnot.
Yep. Yeah. And, we did talk about every once in a while maybe having because we have to be careful. We don't want to piss the state of Ohio off.
God forbid.
According to the state of Ohio, if it's not at a pre-set time and date, it's not an auction according to their definition, which means that on YouTube, we can have what's called a pop-up auction.
Which will pop up in the middle of the show.
It might pop up in the middle of the show.
You won't know it till it pops up into it.
It won't be predetermined, so they won't be able to get me for having an auction according to their definition of an auction. So
we're going to.
You never know what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
We just have to make sure we have something ready more than 5 minutes before the show starts.
Yeah, we'll have to think about it. We got to get our ducks in a row, and right now things are kind of
the ducks are scattered. The ducks are all over the place.
The ducks are scattered. Yeah. It's
the ducks are hanging out with Chicken Nugget. Which I still don't know how that video wound up getting re-released as a new video on my channel, but fine.
So that's our plan.
So in case you guys haven't noticed this yet, I went back and not re-released, just unlocked. I made public all the old pre-recorded videos that I've done in the past, like storage units and things like that. So you guys can watch those again if you want. Oh, yeah, try to. I guess it's cookie time. Oh, you see that? Little bit of bag, a little bit of cellophane. Put that here. Just knock it in there. There you go, buddy.
He heard that bag and you said cookie and it was like these dogs don't miss a thing. These dogs, look at that. He's got to lick
He's just doing the same thing he did last week. He's just licking the
icing
off. Isn't that how you eat a Eaton Park cookie? You lick the icing off first and then you
I usually like
there we go.
Oh, okay. It's got to get a little bit softer. Yeah, it's really a biscuit.
Yeah,
dog biscuit covered with icing's what it is.
It's like an Eaton Park cookie if you left it out for like a year.
Well, they don't make them that thick.
No, they don't. I don't think. Is Eaton Park still around even?
I'm
Anywhere?
sure they're around. Just the last time we went to them was out in Warren area.
Is it Warren?
Warren area? Because I know the one that was near us closed now.
Yeah.
And you used to love to go. We used to back in the day when it was.
I used to. I mean,
you liked Wednesdays when they had the potato soup. You liked that.
Yeah, I mean, they had decent food. I mean, it wasn't anything to write home about, but it was decent.
It was
for
decent.
a chain restaurant. Yeah, you know what I mean?
You're hungry.
It wasn't overly expensive. They had a decent salad bar.
Oh yeah. But those are the days, my friend.
I ate there.
We thought they'd never end.
Yeah.
Yep. But they have.
Kathy says still one near me.
Yeah, they're still around. They're just probably not as prevalent as they used to be.
There he goes. He's getting the icing off.
No, it's the best part.
Yeah.
Sugar cookies with icing. Oh, like your mom's Christmas cookies. They were the best.
Yep. They were about the same crunchiness as those, though. But
he's such a good boy. Yes, he is. I mean, he can be ornery, aren't all dogs, but he is just a lover. And we spent the day in the couch, hanging out, watching TV.
He just hangs out between us. Yeah. Now I get up to go get something, and he'll steal my spot. I'll come back and he'll just sit there and look at me. So we got to coax him back into his spot so I can sit down.
It usually requires.
That's typical.
It's usually I have to take a little piece of whatever I'm eating aside because you'll want to get back into the couch.
You have to bribe him to get off the couch.
Behind you, so I'll take the piece and throw it, and then he'll jump off, and then you can sneak and get completely into the seat. Get your back support, Yeah. But yeah, he's a great dog. He's a great dog. I did you show him that picture you took last week of him?
Which one?
Where he's happy dog. Did you show the happy dog?
That was the that was the thumbnail. I mean, you guys.
Well, I want that happy dog picture on a T-shirt that said because I saw
we talked about doing a keychain with that picture.
Yeah. We'll see. Oh, did you finally break it? You break it down?
Did you break the cookie open?
Oh yeah, he's crunching it now.
Let me see if I can just bring up that picture and show you guys.
Well, I did catch him this morning outside digging.
Oh, he was digging outside.
I go, get in here, and he gets in. I said, let's leave the chipmunks home alone today. There it is. I want that face of his on the T-shirt. It says, "My mom spoils me," or something like that.
So this is the full.
Yeah,
I'll show you guys the full picture.
This is him. Look how he's just. Oh, he's so cute. There it is. Share image
file. No, I have to share a screen for this.
Okay.
Window. There it is. So that's the picture we took of him in the back of the car.
You just sit in the back.
He was just sitting in the back seat,
minding his own, just sitting there.
We were on our way home from picking out the bowl. Actually, we were almost home,
and I just happened to catch it just right.
Yeah, to get that picture. So that's now our favorite picture of him.
Christine writes, funny, it was so normal what's not. With the boy toys, I had 4 girls and in the same boat, knowing the names.
So this is my phone screen now.
Yeah.
And I actually have it so that I can get all the icons off if I just want to look at that picture of him.
And then you can swipe it, and then you can see a little something of Roxy. So.
Yeah, and then you guys have seen that, haven't you? Where, let me bring us back on the. Let me Stop sharing.
Yeah, everybody.
So if I hang on, if I just turn my phone on by the double tap, what I get is a video, a little snippet of Roxy.
Yeah.
Taken a few years ago.
She was still walking on all fours.
Yeah, she was still. Yeah, she was starting to have difficulty then, but she was still able to get up and walk around.
Yeah, Christine, I didn't have any boys either. Just a girl. I ponies and the Disney princesses and all that. That was one thing, but not the Power Rangers or the Ninja Mutant, whatever those things are. The
turtles.
The turtles. There we go. Thank you. So yeah.
Best is, what kind of cookies did he have? Well, last night when he didn't get any cookies, but he got a package of the cookies came in.
Oh yes.
No, this is more of a biscuit.
Yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah. Thank you. I need the acronym. Thank you.
TMNT. So yeah, we sold some TMNT last night.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh.
Yeah, Lenny just sent a picture of his cat dog.
My cat dog. Oh, he likes to. Yeah, that is funny.
Can I show it, Lenny?
That is funny.
I'm going to wait for him to say whether or not I can show it. I'll show it if he says I can. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to...
Sure, he said you can share it. Okay, yeah.
Okay. There. I just zoomed in on the dog. There you go. That's Lenny's dog.
Yeah. That dog, the Dalmatian dog. I mean, that dog's a little too big to be sitting on the back of the couch. That's funny. I love how dogs, they don't know their size. They have no concept of their size. Because on Easter, we did go down and visit my mom, and she's got a Pixie chocolate lab mix, a huge dog.
It's a lap horse, basically.
Yeah, Pixie. Her name belies her size, actually. She thinks she's a lap dog. You're sitting on that one chair, and she just jumps in, and all you see is Conkys' legs with this dog on top of her. You don't see any more Conky. And that dog was she loved it every second. She loves you.
Yeah, that dog.
Yeah, because you can play with her.
I say I get attacked over there every time I go over there, but she doesn't know her own size. She's got these claws.
She's got the pity claws, the terrier claws, and mom has to actually take her to the vet, and she has to be put to sleep. She has to get sleep. She has to be knocked out so they can trim her nails. Mom can't trim her nails because she does not.
She gets picky about that.
She does not like her feet touched, her paws touched, and definitely do not try to clip her nails. So mom has to pay the vet to, do it because no one can do it when she's awake.
Yeah.
But she's a sweet dog, and she was just so happy to see us.
Yeah, I just wish your mom's dog had a fenced-in backyard to play in.
Yeah.
She would really benefit from that. But.
Yeah, she needs to go outside and just be in the backyard running around like an idiot,
like Eddie does.
But mom has to tie her up because her yard's not fenced in. And
so Diana says, "How much bread is left?" I don't know, Diana. You got to guess.
Bread. How much bread is left? Oh, the bread's down here. If anybody wants.
Yeah. Well, it's almost 8:30. It's 8:28. It's by the time we start doing the state of the bread address.
Yep.
So. No pics.
Oh, you're gonna. That's right. Rob has a auction on Tuesday. Unfortunately, I will not be able to make it.
I'm gonna get to meet Mr. DeWitty's dog.
Then you're going to take a picture for me. Yeah, because right after he's done at Sussin, he is literally hopping into his car and going all the way to Toledo.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell that story here in a minute. We're doing the state of the bread, and then I'll
do the state of the bread.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. What is the state of the bread? How much bread do I have left? I'm going to grab it right here. It's in my hand. Don't show it. Don't show it. Don't show it. Okay.
All right. We got two
slices. He says 2 slices gone. Dawn says 2 slices as if to say 2 slices, half loaf or 4 slices gone, Faye. That says half. Just showing you.
Yeah, I see. the other dog. You guys have 2 big dogs. That's amazing.
4 slices left. 3/4 of a loaf. Amy says half loaf. Half a loaf. Mayor Beth says 2 slices left. Paige just says yes.
How come
2/3 of a loaf left?
I'm just looking at Eddie going, how come you're so good about cleaning up that mess, but you never clean up the other messes you make?
Well, because he's a dog. Unicorn Ball says 1 sandwich for Eddie.
Oh, that's
Nancy says half loaf remaining.
That's a big dog, a Great Dane.
All righty. Never enough left. Douglas says never enough left. That's about right. Yeah.
There's never enough left.
All right. So should we show the loaf?
Go ahead. It is your bread. It's your state of the bread rest.
And I don't know whether that's like maybe a third left. 4 slices in there left.
Yeah, and of course I get the heels.
Yeah, she eats the heels.
I eat the heels. He don't like the heels.
So this last week, I decided, because it was nice outside, I was going to go out and work on her car.
Yeah, we're still getting my car done.
And as you recall, my trailer broke when I was driving to Michigan to pick up some parts. And the parts I went up there to pick up was a rear bumper that I couldn't use because it was the wrong one, a driver's side door that I wound up not using, and a tailgate, which I was going to use the tailgate. So on the Forester, you have to, if you want to paint the tailgate and you want to do it right, you don't want it to look like it's been repainted, you have to take the glass out, and then there's there's a spoiler on the top that has the brake light in it, and then there's what's called a garnish panel that goes between the glass and where the license plate is, and that garnish panel is plastic and the spoiler's plastic. So I had this tailgate that I went up to pick up in Michigan all those months ago, and I had to take off a bunch of parts. I was basically going to strip it down to just the bare shell so that they could paint it, which meant the glass. I had to pay to have the glass taken out. I took the spoiler off with the third light in it and moved that over to the other tailgate, because you have to do this trick because the car has to be inspected by the State Highway Patrol, and you have to have receipts for everything. Well, I didn't get a receipt for this tailgate, so I can't put it on until after the inspection, which means I have to have it inspected with the smashed tailgate on it, which is fine, but it has to have a third brake light on it. So which is why I was taking off the tailgate I bought. So I got you caught up. I was.
Did you?
Do you even know what I'm talking about, or did
I get the hint. All right.
So the idea was I was going to leave the smashed tailgate on it, move one of the parts from the tailgate I bought over, have it inspected by the State Highway Patrol, get my title switched over to a clean title, and then have the new tailgate painted. They don't want to see your butt, Eddie. And then have the new tailgate painted and put it on after the inspection. Well, that was the plan. I was taking the parts off the tailgate, and I broke the valance panel, the garnish panel. It's like, oh crap!
No one wants to see that.
just let him go.
There we go.
So now I'm looking at spending another $100 on this panel that I broke. $100 to have the glass removed and replaced, and probably $200 to have the tailgate painted. So that's screw it. I'm just going to look and see if I can find a black tailgate that already has all the parts on it. I don't have to mess with. I can just put on and be done with it. And I found one. It was in Toledo. Actually, it was in Michigan, and they transported it to Toledo. And it was $400. So I just bought it, and I've got to go Tuesday after the Sussin auction to pick it up. But in between that and in between the Sussin auction and going to pick up the tailgate, I think I'm going to stop at Rob's place and get some recent auction winnings that I won.
Yeah, so I won't. Unfortunately, will not be able to go because that's too much to be away from the house with the dog. And
I bet you most people, we've got 129 in the chat. I bet you most of you probably, I probably lost you guys somewhere because I probably didn't explain something right.
The bottom line is the one he broke, and to save himself some time, he's just going to pick up one that's already to rock and roll. He'll save himself a lot of time, and he's picking that up Tuesday after the Sussin auction.
Terry wants to know, where in Michigan did you go? I don't even know. It was so the weather was so bad when I went up there. I was just following my GPS. I wound up in the middle of nowhere.
This was,
and it was like in February, wasn't it?
Because the first day,
the first day the trailer broke.
It was beautiful out. They lost the trailer, it broke, fell apart.
Yeah. Kathy says I have a Subaru, so I mostly follow it. Yeah, all Subarus have about between the glass and the license plate. There's a plastic piece, and it's painted the color of the car. And if you're not careful,
right,
when you go to take them off, you break them.
Yeah, and when you take a salvage car and you make it have a clean title, you have rules and regulations.
Yeah, you've got to have it inspected. They don't really care. They check and make sure all the lights work and all that. But what they're really looking for is, do you have receipts for the major parts that you put on the car? That this is not a that you didn't, chop shop. Because back in the day, what people would do is they would steal somebody's car, and they would take off they like
go to a chop shop.
No, it doesn't have to go to a chop shop. They would take off the wheels, they would take off the doors, they take off the front clip because you just unbolt it and lift it off, and the trunk lid and the taillights. Okay. And then they would they would take it, they dump it somewhere in a bad neighborhood. The cops would come along, they'd see it, they'd find it, the insurance company would pay out, it would go to an insurance auction. Okay. You would be able to buy it at the insurance auction for dirt cheap, which is
I've never heard of this scam.
And then the people who stole the car would buy it, put all the parts they just took off back on, and now they legitimately own the car that they just stole. And they would. That's why they do that.
I just thought they were just putting stolen parts.
No, that's why they do that.
I've never heard that scam. New one every day. You learn something.
Well, no, I mean that ended years ago when they started demanding the state highway patrol inspections for the salvage side of the car.
Man, I get it now.
So that's why they do that with the used parts. So I have to have receipts for all these parts that I bought. Well, I've got receipts now, I guess. So I'll be able to. I've got the one for the door, because I bought another door. What I found out after I bought this car was, this car has every imaginable because it's a touring. It has every imaginable option you can have on the car. And what I didn't realize when I bought the parts off of like a car that wasn't as loaded was, well, the tailgate didn't have the option to lift the gate with the motor. So things have to be switched over from the old gate to the new gate anyway. The driver's door has a completely different wiring harness because it didn't have the push button start versus, where you put the key in the ignition and all that. The bumper, I couldn't use the bumper because it didn't have the holes for the radar that tells you when you're backing up and about to hit something.
And he definitely wants me to have that.
So I definitely want her to have that. I want her to have all the stuff that
y'all know.
It makes it a pain to put these cars together.
Try to tell me something, honey.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you something. Well, I mean,
I have my beef about all that stuff. I have my beef. The beef is, all right, ladies, tell me. You men have an easier time backing up. You know why?
Why?
Because you're taller and you sit up in that seat higher and you can see. When you get when you're smaller, I really have to really, really work hard to look where I'm going to make sure I can see everything.
Well, you have the mirrors.
Yeah,
and you'll have the camera again. So
I swear, if they just puffed up that driver's seat just a little bit.
And you have a button on your seat, you can push it, raises the seat up.
It's still not high enough.
Okay, well, we'll get you a booster seat like in the restaurant.
Exactly. Ladies, am I not kidding?
Like a toddler
you really feel like you have to stretch that back. You have to get your butt off the seat, stretch your back to try to really see where the hell you're going.
Try not to back up.
I do, but I have no choice sometimes.
So her last Forester had all these things, all the eyesight and the backup things until you wrecked it. Even the headlights in this stupid thing. When you turn the steering wheel, the headlights have these old motors in them that turn the headlights. So that's how a $300 headlight turns into $3,000.
Lenny. My great Aunt Theta. She was probably 4 feet 8 inches.
If she was that tall.
If she was
wearing heels, she was 4 foot 8.
She would drive those 70 to 75, those big Chryslers that were like a big ship.
the New Yorker.
She would take that thing. She lived in South Dakota. She would drive that thing all the way out here to visit my grandmother because they were sisters. And she was like, she's the one, unfortunately, you told that funeral story where everybody was all weeping in that one room.
Yeah, that was it.
Went, did the burial thing, and then we came back to the same room, and then the affidavits were flying because they were going to read her will.
Yeah, because it was like $500,000.
Yeah, she had a nice estate. Yeah, she worked very hard. I think she was at one point head of the Indian Affairs of the state of North Dakota. So she had because she was a registered nurse, and that was her job. All
she did with her money was she just wanted to spread the love. So whenever she came to town, she was like passing out 20s like they were Halloween, candy.
Yeah, she unfortunately lost her husband during the Korean War, the Chosin River battle for Chosin River. He died in that. So she never had any kids. She never remarried, and she would come out here to visit my grandma, and it was nice to see her. She was a very unique individual. She
told her, "Go start my car," like a mob, boss. Go start my car for me.
Yeah, make sure it don't. If it blows up, I'm sorry, but
I remember the day she gave you $20 to go start her car, and you came back because you couldn't start it because you didn't realize a Chrysler keys go in with the teeth facing up and the smooth part at the bottom. Back in the 70s. And the GM keys went in just the opposite. She came in, couldn't get the key in the ignition.
I know, I'm pathetic. For me, a car is if I put the key in, it turns and I can go forward. We're golden.
Yeah.
I watch. For
God's sakes, don't back up.
I watch the tank. Well,
don't back up.
I'm not. Yeah, I know. We have a weird driveway. It's all never.
No, it's a straight driveway. It's just fine.
You've had 40 some years experience driving up and down that driveway. It does not go down like this.
Did I ever tell you about the time I was getting ready for a date with her? We were dating, and I was driving an old Ford Galaxy 500, a 72 Galaxy.
Yeah,
and it had this problem where when you went to start it, something was wrong, and you had to get out and take a wire and jump her across the starter relay. And I eventually put in a switch so I could turn the key on and then reach down and push a button and it would start. But it had this problem this one time where it started itself and caught on fire in the driveway. And I was downstairs taking a shower. I was down here taking a shower, getting ready to go up and get dressed and go to pick her up and go for a date where we're going to do.
Who knows? Probably Swanson.
And I go upstairs, and all I've got is a towel wrapped around me, and the car's outside running at high idle, and it's smoking from under the hood. So I go running out there with nothing on but a bare feet, everything, trying to get the hood open, trying to hold the towel on, get the hood open at the same time. And I somehow had a screwdriver in my hand. I was trying to yank the coil wire off so it would shut the engine off, but you couldn't grab it. My hands were wet. And I remember trying to yank it off with the screwdriver, and I finally just screwed it. I let go of the towel, and I'm like pulling on this stupid wire. Neighbors got a show.
How could they with all the trees?
Well, there were a lot of trees, but at that point, I mean, I'll put it this way: if you were standing on the street, all you could see was the car burning. But the neighbors still had some view from.
Oh, look at the bomb over there! And they were talking about.
I remember I got the car shut off, and it burned up the wiring harness for the ignition and all that. And I remember it was sitting in the driveway in a position where it was blocking everything in. Oh. And I forget how we did this, but I remember I had to get my sister's car out so I could go on our date with my car sitting in the middle of the driveway.
Linda's car?
Yeah, the Cutlass.
Okay, the Cutlass.
And we had to push this thing up further into the driveway. We moved all the cars around. We got my dad's car behind it. We shoved it up to where we normally park the cars now. And I had to rewire that thing, and I had to take the dash out and the fender off and all that.
I think at this time in history, there was like maybe 4 or 5 cars in this driveway at one
Yeah,
time.
because Laura
Your
lived here and
parents
she
had your
drove. My
car,
parents had a
Linda,
car.
Laura, Chris, you.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it was always
yeah,
playing musical cars in the driveway.
musical cars. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I had to shove it up in the driveway and fix it in the driveway. But when I fixed it, I put a new ignition switch in so I could actually start it with the key at that point. So it took that to get the key thing to work.
Yeah. Those were the days.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a long time ago. Reagan was president.
Yeah.
Reagan was president. Yep. Second term. Yeah.
That would have probably been about 1986 was probably when that happened.
Yep. God, it's been a while. I can't believe, that's a funny thing about time. You're living and you just don't know that it's going by. Now when you and I have conversations and we start talking about remember when, we're like going back into the 90s and trying to remember things. And I'm like, what?
There's a theory that, it's not a theory. The Earth actually, what the scientists have found is that the Earth actually has a heartbeat, and the Earth is not heartbeat in the real.
It's got molten sense. Gas in the middle.
The heartbeat actually, the Earth actually has a pulsating thing to it, and that pulsating sensation, I'll call it a heartbeat for lack of a better term, has sped up over the last several years. And they say that our bodies, although we can't literally sit here and consciously feel it, our bodies feel it. And when we talk about how we feel like time is speeding up, that they say that plays a role in why we feel that way.
So they say that basically because of all the medicines and foods and stuff is why our bodies are aging slower now?
I don't know. The same.
I mean, people are living into their 90s
now. And, the same.
Like they'd never had before.
Like I actually follow a guy the guy's name's Greg Braden, and he's taken some pilgrimages to Tibet where people are 120, 130 years old, and it's like nothing to them.
Maybe because there was an atmosphere.
Well, because of the way they live, I think is what it is.
Oh yeah, they do live. Yeah, yeah, they do live their lives
a simpler life. Put it that way. And it's a more peaceful life. I've just been trying to introduce more peace in my life. That's why I don't.
Same here.
I try not to get involved in a lot of drama and things. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, we Americans do have. Western society does have a wicked way that it's chasing after all the wrong things, and it takes up a lot of your energy, a lot of your time, and
yeah,
I get it. But the planet is it's not a dead rock. I mean, there's stuff.
Well, and they're saying another thing they're saying is that the magnetic forces of the Earth have really gone down, and what we might see in our lifetime even is a pole shift where the north and the south poles actually switch. They say that happens on the Earth every few 100,000 years or so, but they measure the Earth in the Earth's magnetic field. I don't know how we got on the subject.
You get too scientific. We're losing watchers.
But they measure the Earth's magnetic field in Gauss, which is the measure of magnet forces. And they say that where it was like 4 Gauss in the 1900s, now it's like 0.04, and so it might go down to 0 and go back up. It might go down to 0 and switch north and south poles. It has to do with the spinning of the.
Won't we feel something like that?
Not necessarily. Not if it slows down, and then it's like if you're going forward in your car and you slowly come to a stop and put it in reverse and then slowly take back off, we won't feel it that much. Now, if it switches all of a sudden, like if you're going 40 miles an hour and you throw it in reverse, that's going to be a problem. But your grandpa did that one time and had to fix his transmission, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just It's just something that's happening to the Earth, just like this global warming. That's not man-made. The Earth is warming from underneath. The oceans are heating up from the bottom up. They're not heating up from the top down. There's nothing we can do about the temperature of the Earth.
But
That's something the Earth is going to
do to make things healthier. And unfortunately, well, I'm going to get political, but some people have to be part of the program, and some places don't have to be part of the program. Well, we all live on the same planet.
That's something completely different.
Something different. But hey, what am I saying?
I'll stop ranting about that because I don't want to get on that tangent and start going down that road.
I'm at a point in my life, Mr. J, where I'm looking for the place that has the most consistency of 70 to 75 degree weather.
Well, that's not here.
No. But then again, at this point in my life, I know how to live here. Would I know how to live anywhere else?
It seems like there's really no place you can go.
There's no perfect place.
It's perfect year round. So that's why so many people go from here to Florida.
Well, snowbirding, because no one wants to be down in Florida when it's winter, summer. Winter's one thing, but summer, and I wouldn't want to be down there.
I wouldn't want to be down there.
I mean, I was about.
Which oddly enough, that's the only time we've gone down here lately. Well, we went to Half Mill Time to Grill in March, which was
2 years ago.
2 years ago, which was really weird because we went down there and it was cold down there.
We took the weather with us. Yeah. We didn't get a chance to get.
But I mean, all the other trips I took down to Camp Hales, that was all like right in the middle of the summer. Yeah. So maybe one of these years we'll go down there and then we'll throw him, this doggy, in the car with us, and we'll go down and visit some friends down there.
We'll figure things
Jeremy
out.
And
when he's down there,
Kevin and Chris, our buddies,
they Kevin always wanted to go somewhere warm, and he did. He just said, "Hey, we're going back." Yep. Okay.
I'm moving to Florida. You going with me?
Yeah. Well, we have to stay here, but good luck to you. Yeah. Keep us in touch. But at least I know how to live here, and catastrophically speaking, knock on wood.
Yeah, this isn't a bad. I mean, we don't get a lot of earthquakes here. We don't get a lot of hurricanes here. We get the after effects of hurricanes. We'll get a tornado ripping through every once in a while, but
nasty snowstorms.
Yeah, nasty snowstorms.
I mean, we haven't really had super nasty snowstorms since we were kids.
Yeah,
when they had the blizzards.
Back when it's wintertime, we get snow. We just make sure we got enough groceries in the house and hunker down and live with it. You know what I mean?
And then you kind of appreciate.
Every once in a while, a tree falls on the roof and
call your insurance.
Hit your car,
and
takes out your camper.
I'm considered as fortunate we could still stay in our house.
Yeah.
Through the winter, we stayed through the house. The crew guy that came out here and put that tarp on. I mean, we didn't.
Really it stayed on until. It stayed on until
Camp Hales relocated the schoolhouse.
Yeah, I don't know if Jeremy sold his ranch yet or not.
I don't know. All I know is trust me. I would say, hey, let's make the schoolhouse our home as well, because it's a lot of room, and they need that. I mean, they need that for everything. So I don't blame them. Don't have to be directly across the street from the whack.
Well, I mean, the ranch is a beautiful property, but
you got the whack jobs.
When you've got the whack jobs living across the street, that kind of takes.
And
well, I mean, what it does is, whereas before, somebody living in a property like that would say, "I'm going to go to my little slice of heaven here on earth and enjoy myself." Now you got neighbors like that. It's no longer that to you. It's something else, and that's that's a shame.
I'm so sorry that they've had to deal with all that they've had to deal with, and you want things to just come to an end for them so they can go back, but there's just a lot of issues.
Unfortunately,
it's a heartbreaker. It really is.
I mean, Jeremy can win his lawsuit. I don't know whether that means he can actually get these people out of his life and get them, from that town or what. But I don't know.
It's a shame.
I just hope it all works out. But I hope whatever the end result is, it's all worth all the trouble that he went through, or even some fraction of the trouble. You know what I mean?
All of them have been going through the whack of jobs across the street, and that's just a shame. It's a shame that people have to be that way, but stay strong. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I don't
Stay
know.
strong, stay safe. That's
My
the main thing.
my advice was just walk away and leave these people in their own filth.
But they weren't going to
And-
let him do that. They were going to
Well.
continue. They purposely brought him into the film.
There's. I was just hoping for peace
I do too.
for
I mean, they're good people, and
them.
they do a lot of great for their community down there.
I just wanted peace
Yeah.
for them, and that didn't
No.
happen. So anyway, enough of that.
No, we just wish them all well down there, and I know he's going to be back up here for the summer, and we probably get to see Patience and Christian and maybe Little Pepper and Baby the Bee.
Yeah, Baby the Bee,
and it's always a good thing.
Yep.
Always a good thing.
So we've been on for about an hour now. It's about when we end our show.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, all 160 of you hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Always seems to be something going on with us, and we don't even try to do anything.
No.
And stuff happens.
There's enough to talk about for an hour, I guess. I don't know.
Always something. Always something. Okay, guys. You guys have a great rest of the weekend. Hope you all had an enjoyable Easter. We had a nice, quiet Easter, and May's right around the corner, and that means it's coming. It's gonna be nice for a while, and I'm looking forward to it.
So
you guys take care, and we will see you next Saturday night right back here, 8:00. Conkys Flippin.